We're waiting. I see Brooklyn is in the green room, so she's waiting. We're waiting on Coach Davis and Macey Bader, and we're going to then catch up with North Carolina Courage and find out what's going on. Actually, you know what? Since it's 9:15 and she's already waved at me, I think we're going to bring Brooklyn in and go ahead and start our conversation about North Carolina Courage. And Brooklyn is in. There's Brooklyn. She's going to wave. You going to wave, Brooklyn?
Hey.
There we go. There's Brooklyn. And then we bring in Coach Davis. Coach Davis. Wow, check out that backdrop. Check that out. Yeah. And so I saw Macey drift in and drift out. So when Macey comes in, we'll bring her into the conversation too. But first off, congratulations are in order as North Carolina Courage, the USL-W champs. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Has it sunk in yet, Coach? Let me start with you. Since you have the ritual of having the multiple appearances as Courage have worked their way through the playoffs, Coach, has it sunk in yet that you've survived the sprint and you came out on top in USL-W?
Yeah, I mean it's it's been a really cool experience overall, obviously, and last year, and I can't remember if it was you, John, that asked me this a few weeks ago. I was asked, was I bitter about last year? And I really wasn't. It was just a matter of what we can do just a bit better because of, again, when you say coming up short, we lost in overtime last year on the road. And this year, we were lucky enough to host, and it's one of those things that, I told Heather at the end of the game, I said, not many players ever get to play for a national championship in any level, youth, semi-pro, pro, whatever it might be. And we've done it twice now in a row. So I think that's the part I've had a little bit more trouble sinking in because we've done this back-to-back years and trying to chase after this. So.
And it sounds like that your pipes are almost back at 100%. Like they're almost there. Am I close?
Yeah, they're getting there.
You sit there, you try to rest for the weekend with all of the yelling and directing and all this kind of stuff. Brooklyn, let me ask you this. Now that Macey has officially joined us, so welcome. We have the fatal four-way going here to start things off this morning. Brooklyn, let me ask you, what has this ride been like going into a sprint? Because we talked to Coach and we talked to other USL-W franchises about the sprint that is the USL-W season. Literally, it's like get together, rock and roll, slam it into fifth gear, and then you're done. What has this ride been like for you this year?
Definitely this year has been a little bit different than last year because I missed the first 3 weeks of the season because I was studying abroad in London. So when I came back, I really just jumped right in. But this team was already so united, so together. We'd already won a couple games at that point. So I was just coming into already such a high quality team. So just figuring out how to get my bearings so quickly. But obviously Coach Willie and the rest of the team was so welcoming to me. And it was just a wave. We just rode it all the way through to the end. And it was just amazing to just come together with the group and end up winning. It was just an awesome experience.
All right, Macey, take me through the rain and the nasty. And it looked like on social media when you had Amanda Vandervoort wanting to have a conversation with you outside of the line of players. She wanted to present you with some stuff. Take me through the night and what it was like to have that moment to where North Carolina Courage were that much closer to winning a title and then finally winning a title when the whistle blew.
I'd say I still haven't really recovered, to be honest. I'm still kind of on a high, but just kind of going off of what Brooklyn said, this team has really done something special. And I think part of the reason is because we've all grown up playing together. So it was really easy to, trust that in not ideal weather conditions that we were still going to be able to perform. And honestly, I think the rain made it more fun. I don't know how it was for other people, but I really enjoyed it. But being able, disappointment last year, I was unable to play in the final last year. So coming out and being able to finally kind of complete that little revenge tour is what we were kind of calling it, was just really, really special.
So let me ask you this, Coach. How special was it? Since Macey opened that door, and mentions the revenge tour and it being as special as it was. How special is it with this group that has, for the most part, been together as long as they have? They're in that rhythm. They know where the other was going to be at any given moment. What has it been like to have this group work its way through all of this to get that championship after what happened last year?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game back last night for the first time, and it's the first time I've watched one of our games without clipping or prepping for our next game or something like that. So I watched it. And it's funny, Macey brought up the rain, and I actually thought we played even better in the second half with the rain and the tough conditions. Our possession was just, I thought they struggled with the pace of our possession. I thought they struggled when we started to press them. We were better. I mean, and part of it, we could say it's weather, but I think the big part was we just got hungrier and we just started to prove our ability, a bit more. But the big thing for me on the whole piece is I had a parent, a youth parent, say to me a few months back, and it made me realize I didn't know enough about our program in this sense. He said, it'd be cool if you had more alumni. And I said to my wife the other day, I said, in our 18 players in the final, 16 of them were alumni or current youth players. 2 of them, who play with Brooklyn in school, were the 2 mainstays that didn't come from our program. But, when you look at what we did last year and then, put on top of that the layer of what we did this year and look at the fact that so many of these players have played through our program or are currently in there, it just makes life easy. I mean, I don't think any other program in the country has it.
So Brooklyn, what was it like? How easy a recruiting job was it to bring in those folks that are outside North Carolina Courage? Hey, come on and play here, and we'll chase after something. What was that recruiting process like? Was it like a trip to Starbucks or something? You sit there and go, look, this will be fun. It'll be cool. Come on over. What was it like to be a recruiter as a part of this process?
Honestly, I got to give all the credit to Willie because last year Taylor and Hannah joined us, and I didn't even know they were joining us till we showed up that summer. But definitely when they had asked me about the program and asked me about the coaches, I had nothing but good things to say. I love all the girls in the program, love the coaches. They bring an intensity every day that is similar, if not equal to what we get at college. So it was a no-brainer for them to be able to hop into the program and just continue to improve so that we can bring what we learn here back to our college teams. So it was very easy recruiting process for sure.
So, all right. So Macey, let me ask you this. When has it sunk in, or has it sunk in? When did it sink in that a championship was yours? Was there a moment in the rain? Did you wait until you got indoors? All the pomp and circumstance. When has it sunk in, or has it sunk in? Have you had to have that moment of zen where you sit there and go, man, we actually did this?
Bits and pieces, Amelia Brown, who's on the team, she's at school with me and she's one of my roommates. And we're back at morning workouts for school. And we were talking about it. It's like, there's no way that we just won a national championship like 48 hours ago and, back to the grind. But I'd say like the big moment was after, like the award ceremony, we were back in the locker room and everyone was taking pictures. And I just sat down and had like the MVP trophy and just started bawling, crying. And I got crap from everyone about it and being all emotional. I got Heather O'Reilly yelling at me to stop crying. But it was just like, I was sick for like the first month of the season this year, and to be able to come in and, still perform at a high level, but also know that, my team did not miss a beat without me there. And I was able to still be welcomed back in. It just was it was very emotional to say the least, but I couldn't have done it without them.
So, Coach, let me ask you this. When you don't have everyone for 100% of the season, how much of a challenge is it for you and the staff to integrate folks, even though there is that history of them coming through the program and they kind of know the Courage way? How difficult was it for you and the staff to hit all the right buttons when it came to line up an organization and who's going to be doing what? How hard of a challenge was that?
Yeah, I mean, it can be tricky because, the one thing I say is they're not under contract. So it's not like, they at no stage do they have to be there. Our core group of players, the two of which are sitting here with you right now, have been with us for, I think, Macey for 3 years and Brooklyn for 2. And they, they make it easy because I know there may be some vacation time, but they're not going to miss major stretches. Macey's was a little different because she did get sick early on in the season, but I think the only positive of that is she got sick early and was able to bounce back and get back into the back part of everything. But like I said, I think that when you look at our roster, and we had some key players that elected to step away. But when you look at our key roster, it's, and it's no disrespect to any player that comes outside of Courage, but I just realized this year that the players that you can almost always count on are the players that have come through our program. It's just it's a type of commitment that they have. It's an understanding of what Courage means to them, not just the staff. And, it can be tricky, but, luckily we have a base of players that just make it work consistently.
Head coach Willie Davis, Brooklyn, Holt, Macey, Bader from North Carolina Courage hanging out with us as they are the USL-W champs in 2024. Brooklyn, when you look at, let me go this way. Do you remember day one for you in the Courage program? I mean, like day one. Do you remember your first day as a part of North Carolina Courage?
When you say that, do you mean youth or USL?
Like day one. I mean, like from the absolute beginning when you were like, 2 years old or something like that. Do you remember your first day?
I remember because we came up, my team was we were the youngest team when the program started. So I was in 8th grade going into 9th grade. I definitely remember the tryouts and all that good stuff, but definitely remember just the team building. And I had girls like Kaylee and Amelia Brown, Baylor on my team, and we all grew up together and were fortunate to play in this last game together, this last season together. I definitely remember the Courage program, and it was definitely one of the best 4 years of my life. It just taught me how to be a professional. From the very first minute we stepped into the program, we were taught to be mini professionals. And it's carried us all the way through. And like Willie said, it's helped us in this USL program. And it's like Macey, it's like we didn't skip a beat. We just stepped right into being professionals, into this semi-professional league. And it's just been a great base. And I think that that's the thing I remember most from this program is teaching us how to be professionals, even from such a young age.
So then, Macey, 2-part question. Do you remember your first day, your day one? Do you remember how far back that was for you?
So when I was going into 9th grade, basically Brooklyn played for this club called Castle, and I played for this club called TFC, and they ended up merging to create like NCFC, and then the girls' academy was NC Courage. And I remember there were me and one other girl were like the only two that made it from the TFC team to the NC Courage Academy. And it was definitely intimidating because, you're with the big dogs now. Like, this is what even at 15, like, this is what you've been preparing for. And coming in, having a team of girls that were pushing you every day, that were very, very close. And even, Brooklyn's team was a year younger than me. We hung out with them on away trips. We idolized the older girls, like Alexis Strickland, who played with us. She was on that older girls team, and I remember being like a 15-year-old idolizing her as like 18, and now we're very close friends. So I think one thing that stuck is how close we all are as a program, not necessarily as teams. You have the couple people you've grown up with for being on the same team for 4 years. I mean, I've had Willie since I was U16 as a coach, so just that kind of growing and evolving, but still holding the same fundamentals that we became friends on and teammates on is just means so much.
Second part of the question, where is the MVP trophy with the goal and assist?
I don't know if you can see it. It is right back there. Back there. I had to bring it back to school.
Go get it.
All right.
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of live everything is that we can go. I want to see this trophy because I saw the social media post.
Here she is.
There it is.
My pride and joy. Yeah, my mom tried to convince me to leave it at home, and I said no, that is going to be on my dresser, so I see it every morning when I wake up.
So what is that? What is that like to first off wrangle an MVP trophy away from your mom, so it's not going to stay? But what's that like to have that kind of physical representation? While yes, the Courage as an organization has a trophy that I'm sure that's a separate question. So my next question, Coach, will be on that trophy. But what's it like to have that kind of physical representation?
It means everything. I mean, I clearly could not have done this without my team, but going into the game, I kind of knew the last few games, like my role, I've kind of always been a leader on the team and knew that even though, I'm one of the older players, like my role this game is going to be as a game changer. And I was like, I can either be, upset or focused on the fact that I wasn't starting, or I can realize like this is what my team needs from me and give it my all. Unfortunately, I focused on the second option and was able to come up big and help us get there, but couldn't have done it without everyone else, which is why sometimes as much as I love, this MVP trophy, it's you want to give one to everyone because I couldn't have done it without them.
Well, I think you could do some 3D printing, couldn't you? You sit there and you.
I mean, we'll find a way to make a copy somehow. The medals just don't seem like enough.
Coach, let me ask you this: along the lines of the trophy being with Macey, do you treat this like the Stanley Cup? Does everybody on the team get a day with the trophy, or is it just going to stay with you? And it's like, yeah, you can come and visit it, and that kind of a thing.
Well, we would do that, but that's what's unique about this group. I mean, they are often taking care of business elsewhere now. They're starting their preseason, and we don't have that. We made a joke, David Madron and I afterwards, about getting a bus and having a parade. And I was like, yeah, the problem is I won't have a team because my team's off the preseason now. So, so that's kind of the tough part. I mean, if the beauty is we get all the way to the end and we win it. The tough part is teams, and no offense to anybody else, if they finish early, they have some time to get their group together and have an end of the year thing because they didn't go as long. But, with us going as long as we did, I mean, unfortunately, the players, they've got to go take care of the other business that they have in their lives. So
it's going to hang out with you, basically. Yeah,
I'll take it to the soccer office. The Courage office, the main Courage office did talk about getting it, and I said no. So we'll take it to our youth office and put it in there.
One more round with everybody here. Brooklyn, let me ask you what's next on your itinerary? What's up with you heading back to school and chasing after stuff in the ACC? What's next on your line of sight?
Definitely hopping back into preseason, like Mason really said, just back to business. We started. Everybody's back now, so it's cool to get the group back together and to prepare for our upcoming season. We play Carolina Ascent Super League team, our first exhibition game this season, so that'll be good, a good test. And just coming back, remaining healthy and trying to make it through the season and do our very best and improve from last year.
Okay, MVP, what's next for you?
Gosh, MVP has such a nice ring to it, but it's time to get back to business here. Summer league is everything. Well, it means everything. And, you've been working the whole summer for it, but when you get back to school, it doesn't really transfer over. It's a nice accolade, but, we haven't really proved anything yet at school this year. So clean slate. And as much as, I like that for a confidence booster in the back of my mind, I haven't proved anything yet this season. So I'm excited to get back out there, and I want to have another trophy or another ring by the end of November.
All right, Coach, what's next for you with Courage now that you've got the USL-W season, you got the trophy. Now what's next for you?
For me, I think I'm going to listen to my wife and try to take a little time away from the game a bit. It's the beauty of it is we have our youth side is a 10-month program, but then with our 23s continuously do well, which we had the last 2 years, it's been almost a 12-month thing. So for me, just take a little time and recharge before we start back in August.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, first off, thanks for, as John Schuster at Duluth FC always says, I'm not superstitious, I'm a little stitious. Thanks for coming in through every stage of the playoffs that you continue to win and telling the story of North Carolina Courage. Coach, Brooklyn, and the MVB. I guess we should just call you an MVB, right, Macey? Just go that way instead of an MVP. Call you the MVB. Willie Davis, Brooklyn Holt, Macey Bader, thanks for dropping by this morning. Congratulations on the USL-W trophy. We'll be keeping an eye on these next steps and next stages. And just be safe, have fun, get your voices back, and take some time. Thanks for dropping by here on the morning show. Congratulations. We'll catch up with all of you soon.
Thanks for the constant coverage. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That is Coach Davis, and that is the coverage of North Carolina Courage, your champs in USL-W. So very, very cool that that Coach Davis got to drop by. And literally it was just like, okay, you won. You're coming back. You won, you're coming back. And that's kind of like what we're going to be doing with Brett Teach in 10 minutes and John Schuster at the top of the hour. It's like you win, you keep coming back. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, it's a part of our ritual and a part of our week.